In this video, we're going to build a level for our 2D game. In the previous video, we set up our light and our camera and our world. So this is what we're starting off with. A brightly lit cube with a blue sky. I get out of camera view by pressing numpad 0. I'm going to stretch this cube in the X direction. This is going to become our ground. So I'm going to press scale X, SX. Oop, I pressed the wrong key. SX, and then 100, which will scale my cube in the X direction 100 times. So it was 2 meters, now it's 200 meters. Close that down. I'm also going to scale it in the Y direction, or sorry, the Z direction too. So SZ, and maybe do 10 for that. And the reason for that, if I go back to my camera view, is so that if I grab the cube and drag it down, so GZ, I'll have some ground that goes below the camera, so the camera is not going to see anything underneath the ground. I'm going to, while I'm at it, go to Material Properties, which looks like a little red globe over here on the right. I'm going to give my material a name. I'm going to call this ground. This is going to become important in a later video. We're going to use this to detect a collision with this object. There's a way when you're creating your logic blocks to detect collisions between objects that have specific materials. So it doesn't matter what you call this, just remember that this is going to be what our character is walking on. I'm calling mine ground. I'm going to change the base color, give it kind of a little dirt look to it. Something like that. I'm going to also turn off specular lighting. Let me show you what this looks like with specular lighting. So if I press numpad 0 to go back into camera and press P, the ground looks a little washed out from what I have set as my base color. That's because specular lighting makes the ground shiny. So it's reflecting light back from the sun. So if I press escape and reduce the specular lighting down to 0, and then press P again, I get a ground that looks more closely or very close to the color, base color I selected. All right, numpad 0 to get out of the camera view. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this ground object. So I'm going to tab into edit mode. I'm going to use loop cut and slide to create some ground to walk on. Recall the way this tool works is when I mouse over an object, it'll give me like a yellow outline of how it's going to cut the object. And then if I click and drag, I can actually drag the cut to where I want it to go. And what I'm going to do is make some sections here that I'm going to raise up. Some obstacles that we need to jump over. So this one's going to come up a little bit and then go back down, and then I'm going to have like a little stairway that goes up and down. Now I'm going to make a bigger stairway that my player has to climb to jump over a lava pit. Let's say we have to do, that's 4 steps, 5 steps, maybe 6 steps up here. And now I'm going to create a lava pit. So they have to jump across this. I'll make a platform to land on the other side. Make a little obstacle here, and we have to get over. And that could be the end of the level. All right. So now I'm going to go up to my select box and click select face. And then I'm going to extrude these up. I'm going to shift click. Actually, I could do these one at a time. So maybe I extrude this up. So press E1, goes up 1 meter. E1 goes up 1 meter. E2, E1. Now this one I'm going to do E2, E4, E6, 5, 6, E8, E10, E12. That might be a little high. We'll see how that goes. Put this E4. Shift and pan over. E1, E2. Actually, I'll just make this a stair at the end. E2, E4, E6, E8, and E10. All right, there we go. So this is my level. I'm going to press numpad 0. And now we have to make some adjustments to our camera. We're zoomed way too far in. So I'm going to tab out of edit mode. I'm going to select my camera up here. And back under camera properties. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of use my lava pit as my point of reference. So I'm going to drag the orthographic scale out. If my player is sitting up here, I want them to be able to both see the lava and the other side of the pit. So clicking on the camera right here, if I press G, I'm going to grab the camera and pull it up here. And maybe zoom out a little bit more. So I want my player if my player is standing up here, this is how I want my camera to look. All right, so my player is going to be kind of in the middle. I'll move the camera up a little bit. My player will be like over here, kind of a third of the camera in front of it, a third behind it, and maybe halfway in the middle of the camera. All right, that looks good to me. All right. I'm going to, now that I'm here, I can actually color some of this. And because it's 2D, because I have my camera set up to be 2D orthographic, I only need to color the sides. So to make my lava here, I can use my box select, use my face select, and select this face. And then I can add a new material slot here, a new material. I'll call this lava. Give it a nice, make it red. And click assign. We have to assign the lava. We want to make sure we remove the specular lighting too. I press numpad 0 and play. Oop. Yeah, edit mode first. There's my lava. All right. I might also go back and color these. Oop. These faces. So I'm going to shift click and select all of them. Actually, I can control click. Oh, no. That's more than I wanted. I'll stick with shift click. Control click will let you select a lot of objects or faces in between two faces. Where shift click, you have to go one at a time. And I'm going to create a new slot. I'm going to call this stone. Maybe I want this to look gray. And click assign to assign the stone pattern. Alright, so if I press P, get out of edit mode, tab out of edit mode. This is what I end up with. think I want my stone to be a little bit darker. Let's try that. I think that's good. All right, and that's our level. Thanks for watching and happy blending.